Hello friends, myself Nalnikant Jena, your physics teacher. Today's discussion is regarding Poiseuille's formula. Today we will derive the expression for the Poiseuille's formula, that is we have to derive Poiseuille's formula for the rate of flow of liquid through a tube, also derive the expression for the viscosity of liquid. This is our question. To solve this question, we have to consider a liquid. Which type of liquid? Viscous liquid. And that viscous liquid should flow in streamlined flow through a tube of narrow cross section. Why a viscous liquid is required? Why a tube of narrow cross section is required? Let us discuss first. What is a fluid? It is the substance which is able to flow. That is, the substance which is able to flow is a fluid. The common examples of fluids are the liquids and the gases. Okay. Now, when the fluid is in motion, then which type of motion does it possess? A liquid or a fluid possesses two types of motion. One is known as the streamlined motion and the other one is the turbulent motion, and commonly we term it as streamlined flow and turbulent flow. Then what is streamlined flow? It is the type of flow in which the velocity of the fluid is constant, and if the velocity of the fluid is not constant, that is variable, then the type of fluid is known as turbulent fluid. Okay? Now, to get Poiseuille's formula for a liquid flowing through a tube, we have to consider a viscous fluid. Then what is a viscous fluid? The fluid which has viscosity, which has the property of a viscosity, is known as a viscous fluid. Then what is viscosity? It is the property by virtue of which it opposes the relative change in velocity between its layers. That means, when a fluid flows, then the velocity of the different layers of that fluid is not same, and the difference in velocity is opposed by the property known as viscosity. That means, every viscous liquid has the property of a viscosity, and the force associated with viscosity is known as viscous force, and that viscous force is expressed in terms of Newton's law as the viscous force is F is equal to minus eta A dV by dx, where eta is the coefficient of viscosity, A is the area of cross section of that tube through which the viscous fluid flows, and dV by dx is the velocity gradient. Now, the negative sign indicates that the force is opposing in nature, and in deriving the Poiseuille's formula, we have to use this Newton's law of viscosity, for which F is equal to minus eta A dV by dx. Okay. Now, let us come to the point. We have to derive Poiseuille's formula. For this, what we have to do? We have to find out the volume of liquid flowing per second. We have to find out the volume of liquid flowing per second across any cross section of the tube. To do this, what we have to do? I am giving a trick for which, okay, in deriving Poiseuille's formula, what we have to do? We have to take the help of a flow chart. That is the trick of this question. Then what is that flow chart? My target is to derive the expression for the volume of liquid flowing per second. And to get the volume of liquid flowing per second, I have to require dV, the small volume of liquid flowing per second across the elementary area. So, if dV is known to us, then by integrating within the proper limits, we can get V, which is our target. Now, our target comes to dV, and this dV can be obtained by multiplying the velocity with the area of the element. Multiplying the velocity with the area of the element, we can get the volume of liquid flowing per second through the element. Now, we have to find out this velocity and also this area of the element. Now, to get this velocity, we have to find out the velocity due to a small elementary area. Now, if dV is the velocity due to a small elementary area, then how can we get dV? If we know dV by dx, which is known as your velocity gradient, then we can calculate dV from this. Then how this velocity gradient can be obtained? As I have already told you, in our Newton's law of viscosity, the viscous drag is equal to minus eta A dV by dx. So, to get dV by dx, I have to find out that viscous drag acting on the liquid. And to get this viscous drag, what I have to do? Now, this is possible only when the liquid is in equilibrium. That means, to get equilibrium condition, this force must be equal and opposite to that force which acts due to the pressure, because due to pressure difference there will be the flow of liquid, and hence to get this F, we have to find out F dash, which is due to the pressure difference, and this F dash is due to the pressure difference P1 minus P2. So, to get the Poiseuille's formula, that is volume of a liquid flowing per second across any cross section of a tube, we have to first consider the liquid flowing through a tube, and we have to find out P1 and P2. P1 and P2 are the two pressures across the two cross section of the tube. Then when we get this P1 and P2, we can calculate the difference of a P1 and P2. Let that difference be taken as P, and that pressure will give the force F dash, and when F dash will be derived, then by equating this with Newton's law of viscosity, which is equal to minus eta A dV by dx, we can get dV by dx. Now, from dV by dx we can get dV, and by integrating this dV we can get velocity, and now this velocity if multiplied with the area of a cross section of that element, then we would get the volume of a liquid flowing through that element, and now integrating that dV we will get the volume of a liquid flowing through the tube per second. Okay. This is the trick, and we have to follow this trick. I started from here and reached at the bottom. Now I should start from this point, then from this point, then from this, then this, and if I will follow this path, I will reach at the target. Okay, let us start from this point. That means first we have to consider a tube of horizontal cross sectional area, that is, let us consider a horizontal tube of uniform cross section. Let AB be the tube of uniform cross sectional area, XY is the axis of the tube, let small r is the radius of the tube. To derive this Poiseuille's formula, we have to consider some assumptions. Then what are these assumptions? The number one assumption, to derive Poiseuille's formula, we have to consider some assumptions, and these assumptions are, the number one is the tube should be horizontal. The tube should be horizontal. Number two, the flow should be streamlined. Number three, there should not be any slipping between two consecutive layers of the liquid. And the fourth one, there should be no radial flow, such that the pressure is uniform over the cross sectional area. I am repeating once again, our target is to derive Poiseuille's formula, for which we have to follow the flow chart what I have already discussed. For this, we have to consider a horizontal tube AB of radius r, and in deriving this Poiseuille's formula, we have to consider some assumptions, and these assumptions are, the number one is the tube should be horizontal. Number two, the flow should be streamlined flow such that the velocity remains constant. Number three, there should not be any slipping between the consecutive layers of the liquid. And the fourth one is, there should be no radial flow such that the pressure remains constant over the cross sectional area of the tube. Now, let us consider a small element of the tube at a distance x from its axis, such that the element should be in the form of the cylinder. As a result, its radius will be x, and if its thickness is dx, if its thickness is dx, then the internal radius of the element will be x and the external radius will be x plus dx. This one is x, this one is x plus dx, such that the thickness will be dx. Let L equal to length of this tube, L equal to length of the tube, eta equal to coefficient of viscosity of the liquid flowing through the tube, and already I have told r is equal to radius of the tube, and x is equal to internal radius of the element, x plus dx equal to external radius of the element, with dx is equal to thickness of the element. Now let V equal to velocity of the layer at the inner surface of the element, and V minus dV equal to velocity of the liquid at the outermost layer of the tube. Now, if capital A is equal to the area of the element, then we can write A is equal to 2 pi x into L, that is 2 pi x is the circumference of that element and L is the length of the element, so that when both are multiplied it gives the total area of the element. Now, due to the property of a viscosity, the upper layer exerts a backward dragging force which is due to the viscosity of the liquid, and that backward dragging force according to Newton's law of viscosity can be expressed as F equal to minus eta A dV by dx. Equation 2, where dV by dx is the velocity gradient between the inner and outer layer of the element, A is the total area of the element which is calculated here in equation 1, and eta is the coefficient of viscosity, and the negative sign indicates that the viscous force opposes the motion. Now, let the pressure due to the liquid at the area of cross section at A is P1, and let the pressure at this point B is P2. Now, we can write, if the liquid flows from A to B, that is from left to right, then P1 will be more than P2, that is P1 is greater than P2. So, the force due to the pressure will be how much? Pressure is equal to force by area. So, force will be pressure into area. Now, F1 is equal to force is equal to pressure into area. So P1 into area is of cross section of that tube is pi x square due to the element. And if F2 is the force at B due to the pressure P2, then F2 will be how much? P2 into pi x square. Since P1 is greater than P2, hence the net force due to the pressure acting on the element is F dash, which is equal to F1 minus F2, which is equal to P1 pi x square minus P2 pi x square, implies F dash is equal to P1 minus P2 to pi x square, implies F dash is equal to P pi x square. This is equation 3, where P is equal to P1 minus P2 is equal to the difference in pressure due to the liquid at the cross sections A and B. Now, if the liquid is in equilibrium, then the viscous drag force must be equal in magnitude with the force due to the pressure difference. That means if the viscous drag force is minus eta A dV by dx and the force due to the excess pressure is P pi x square, then in equilibrium both the forces have equal magnitude, and that's why we can write minus eta A dV by dx is equal to P pi x square. So, dV by dx will be how much? Implies dV by dx will be equal to P pi x square by eta L with a negative sign, implies dV is equal to minus pi P x square by eta L into dx. This is equation 4. Now, let us come to the flow chart. Our target was to calculate the volume of liquid flowing per second across any cross section of the tube, for which we have to find out V, and to get V we have to first calculate dV, and then by integrating dV we can get V. Then how dV can be obtained? I have already told you that a dV can be obtained by multiplying velocity with the area of the tube. Now, velocity can be obtained from the integration of dV. Now, we have arrived at dV. So, by integrating within the proper limits, we can get the velocity of the liquid through the element. Let us integrate equation 4. Now, integrating equation 4, we get V equal to integration dV, which is equal to minus integration pi P x square by eta L into dx plus C, where C is the constant of integration. Now, let this equation as 5. To get the value of this constant of integration, let us apply the boundary condition. Then what is the boundary condition? From the property of a viscosity, we know that as we move from the center of the tube towards its edges, then the velocity gradually decreases as the velocity is maximum at the center of the tube, that is middle portion of the tube. As we move towards the edge, then the velocity gradually decreases, and as we reach the edge, then the velocity seems to be ceased, that is V becomes 0 and the fluid appears to be at rest in contact with the wall of the tube. So, we can write the boundary condition as at the edge of the tube that is at r x is equal to r, V is equal to 0. This is the boundary condition. The velocity of the liquid in contact with the tube is 0. And applying this boundary condition to this equation, we can write in place of V, we can write 0. 0 is equal to minus, and this one will be pi p by eta L into x square, and the integration of x square is x cube by 3 plus the constant of integration will be c, implies c is equal to how much? Pi p by eta L, and in this place of x, when we apply boundary condition, this x will become as r. So, it will be r q, and here it is 3, that is c is equal to pi p r q by 3 eta L, equation 6. Okay, once again, f is equal to f dash implies minus eta a dv by dx is equal to pi p x square, implies dv by dx is equal to pi p x square by minus eta a, which is equal to pi p x square by minus eta into a, and already we have found a as 2 pi x into L, which implies dv by dx is equal to pi p x, because one x gets cancelled by, and pi gets cancelled, so p x by 2 eta L, implies dv is equal to minus p x by 2 eta L. Integrating this equation, we get V equal to minus integration p x, here is the dx, p x by 2 eta L dx, implies V equal to minus p by 2 eta L into x square by 2 plus c, where c is the constant of integration, implies V is equal to minus p x square by 4 eta L plus c. applying the boundary condition, that means at the tube edge when x tends to r, then V becomes 0. Boundary condition. Boundary condition. At x is equal to r, V is equal to 0. So, applying this condition to this equation, we can write 0 is equal to minus p, in place of x square we can write r square by 4 eta L plus c, implies c is equal to p r square by 4 eta L. Now, putting the value of c from this equation in the expression for velocity, we can write V is equal to, we can write V is equal to minus p x square by 4 eta L plus c, and the expression for c is p r square divided by 4 eta L. Now, in solving we can get V is equal to p by 4 eta L into r square minus x square. This is the expression for the velocity of a liquid flowing through the element. But our aim is to calculate the volume of a liquid flowing per second across any cross section of the tube. That is, we have to find out V, for which we have to calculate dV, that means the volume of liquid flowing through the element. If dV is the volume of liquid flowing through the element per second, then this dV will be equal to velocity multiplied by area of the cross section, which is equal to, in place of velocity we can write p by 4 eta L r square minus x square into the area will be how much? 2 pi x into dx. This is the area of a cross section of the element. Now, we can write this as dV is equal to pi p by 2 eta L into r square minus x square into x dx. So, the total volume of a liquid flowing per second across any cross section of the tube will be obtained by integrating this expression within the proper limits. That is, now the total volume of a liquid flowing through the tube can be obtained by integrating this equation within the proper limit. That is, V, volume of liquid flowing per second across any cross section of the tube, is equal to integration this dV, which is equal to integration pi p by 2 eta L r square minus x square x dx. On solving, we can write we can take pi p by 2 eta L as constant and it can be taken outside. So, it will be pi p by 2 eta L, then within integration it will be r square x dx minus x cube dx, and the limit of integration is from 0 to r, where r is the radius of the tube. So, it is 0 to r. Now, this equation becomes as pi p by 2 eta L and r square, the integration of x dx is x square by 2 from 0 to r minus, it will be how much? It will be x4 by 4 from 0 to r, implies as V is equal to pi p by 2 eta L, and within bracket it will be r square into r square by 2 minus r to the power 4 by 4. So, this V is equal to pi p by 2 eta L, and within bracket it will be r to the power 4 by 2 minus r to the power 4 by 4. On simplifying, we get pi p by 2 eta L into r4 by 4, which implies as V is equal to pi p r to the power 4 by 8 eta L. This is the required expression for the volume of a liquid flowing per second across any cross section of the tube. From this expression, we came to know that the volume of a liquid flowing through the tube varies directly with the pressure of the tube, that is V proportional to the pressure difference between the two cross sections of the tube. Also V proportional to r to the power 4, that is the volume of a liquid varies directly with the fourth power of the radius of the tube, and also V proportional to 1 by eta, that is inversely proportional to the coefficient of viscosity of the liquid. From this experiment, from this expression, we can also calculate the coefficient viscosity of the liquid, and from this we can calculate eta is equal to pi p r to the power 4 by 8 V L. Now, we arrived at our target. In the beginning, I have told you that our target is to calculate the volume of liquid flowing per second through the tube of any cross section, for which we have considered a horizontal tube, taking into consideration the assumptions. Then step by step, to find out V, we calculated dV, and then for dV we calculated the velocity, and for velocity we calculated the velocity gradient, and that velocity gradient is obtained from Newton's law of viscosity, and in equilibrium that Newton's law of viscosity will be equalized with the force due to the pressure difference across the two cross sections of the tube. Hence, from starting from this point, we arrived at our target, and this is the expression for the Poiseuille's formula, and this is also known as Poiseuille's formula. And this formula is obtained only due to the assumptions, but in actual practice this never happens, and hence it needs two corrections. That is, Poiseuille's formula needs two corrections. One correction is due to the kinetic energy of the liquid, and the second correction is due to the acceleration of the liquid. Now, let us discuss these two types of corrections. One is due to the kinetic energy and the second one is due to the acceleration of the liquid. In deriving Poiseuille's formula, it is assumed that the liquid flowing out of the tube at the cross section B has no velocity, but actually the liquid emerges with certain velocity. As it possesses certain velocity, hence it has the kinetic energy, and the kinetic energy will be the half mv square, and hence to calculate the kinetic energy per second we can write the E is equal to integration from 0 to r half mv square dv. But what is that mass? And to get the mass we have to find out m is equal to rho v, that is density into volume, and volume will be how much? Area into length, and we have already find out the cross sectional area of the element as 2 pi x dx area, and rho is the density. So, we can write this as kinetic energy per second will be V into V square dV, that is E kinetic energy per second will be equal to integration 0 to r 2 pi x dx rho V square. On simplifying we can write 2 pi rho VQ within integration x dx, and on integrating we get x dx gives x square by 2, and putting the final value r we can write this as 2 pi rho VQ into this much will be how much? R square by 2. But we have found before velocity v is equal to p by 4 eta l into r square minus x square, and putting the value of v here we can find out the expression for the correction of kinetic energy as E is equal to pi rho PQ divided by 64 eta q LQ into r to the power 8 by 8. Okay? And this correction is made for Poiseuille's formula, and putting these values in the expression we can get P1 is equal to P minus V square rho divided by pi square r to the power 4. This is the correction to the kinetic energy factor. And what is the correction to the acceleration factor? Because at the inlet end of the tube of the liquid, as the flow is not streamlined for a certain distance, hence consequently as the liquid flows through the tube, it gets accelerated due to the acceleration due to gravity, and we have to consider the case of the correction in acceleration, so that we can calculate the corrected form of the expression for the coefficient of viscosity as eta is equal to pi p r to the power 4 divided by 8 v into L plus 1.64 or minus V rho divided by 8 pi L plus 1.64 R. This is the expression for the coefficient of viscosity of the liquid. With this, we finished our Poiseuille's formula. I hope you must have a better understanding regarding Poiseuille's formula. Thanking you all.